The shakeup in the AFC West was completely unexpected in 2025. Just when you thought you knew what was going to happen, you really didn't. Now, do things return back to what they have been, or do we continue to see chaos in that division? Let's discuss. What's going on, guys? Dick Support here, back to another video. I got two divisions left, both of them in the West, and I have to reiterate this. These numbers that I continue to say are subject to change. I filmed these a few days in advance, and anything can happen. We just saw a huge trade happen today. A huge trade happened today with DJ Moore going to the Bills. When I recorded the NFC North and the AFC West, that had not happened yet. So this is all subject to change, and I have to reiterate that. Now, let's get into these teams. Denver was this close to the Super Bowl. They had defeated Buffalo in the divisional round. They took down the Chiefs, took the division back, and were literally a Jarrett Stidham fumble away from making it to the ultimate game. That's all it was. If Jarrett Stidham doesn't have that fumble, the Patriots don't get that touchdown. It's about as cut and dry as that. Now, you have a healthy Bo Nix going into 2026. You still have a really good defense. But what do they have to do to make their team even better going into next season? Well, running back, wide receiver, tight end. At running back, R.J. Harvey is the expected starter after they drafted him in the second round. He had an okay rookie season, but you do need somebody to complement him. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. We don't know if he's going to be back or not. At wide receiver, you only had two guys that reached the 500-yard mark. That was Courtland Sutton and Troy Franklin, and those guys accounted for over half of the passing touchdowns last year. Definitely need some more weapons there. And then at tight end, Evan Ingram was the number one guy, but he's had a very up and down career. Definitely want to make an upgrade there. Also, linebacker, you have some guys that are free agents, Alex Singleton being one of them. Definitely want to get some more depth in there. They have a 30th overall pick. It's pretty much asking if somebody could drop down to them, and they have enough cap space. They have $25 million, which with the last few teams we're going to discuss is actually on the lower mark, and they can still make some moves there. So from now on, no one else has negative cap space. Everybody is comfortably under the cap. With Denver, they had a great season, but now can they build on that and do even better in 2026? It's going to be hard, but we've seen teams do it. You know, it was this time last year we were talking about the Chiefs potentially getting back to the Super Bowl and winning it. Now we're just wondering if they can win their division again or get back to the playoffs. But they're making drastic changes. They are not backing down from this. Trent McDuffie traded to the Rams for a first-round pick. They have number 9 and number 29 in the draft. And they cut Jawan Taylor. They're hoping to improve the offensive line. In terms of positions of need, running back, Isaiah Pacheco's a free agent. That's their number one back. Do they bring him back, or do they go looking for somebody else? Along the defensive line, has some free agents there, including Derek Nottie. Travis Kelce is a free agent, and he's really getting up there in age. You have to start thinking who's going to take over for him if he's not back, whether through retirement or potentially sign with another club. Marquise Brown is a free agent along with Juju Smith-Schuster. Needs some reinforcements in the wide receiver room, and then with McDuffie being traded, corner is a big need as well. The Chiefs, they have a lot of things they need to figure out. But one thing about Kansas City, they just know what they're doing. And never doubt Andy Reid. As long as he's the Chiefs head coach, and as long as Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback, you know they're going to have a chance to do big things in an NFL season. Alright? I am not counting out the Chiefs just yet. The Chargers were affected by injuries probably more than any other team in the NFL last year, and yet they still got to the playoffs, and that was being down receivers at times. That was being down both of their bookend tackles at the end of the season, Joe Walton and Rasheed Slater. That was down a lot of players, and yet they got to the playoffs, and they didn't win any games, but they gave the Patriots all that they could handle. They were in that game for most of it. If their offense could have done anything against New England, who knows what would have happened. Now, get fully healthy and see what you can do to bring in some more reinforcements. You have the 22nd overall pick, and remember when I said Tennessee had the most cap space out of anybody in the NFL? Well, the Chargers overtook them a few days ago. At the time of the recording, it was the Titans, but now it is the Chargers with $99 million. They have a lot of cap space to work with. In terms of their needs, enter the offensive line. All right, they have multiple guys that are free agents, including Trevor Penning and Zion Johnson. They need to reinforce that while they do get their bookend tackles back. Wide receiver, you have Keenan Allen, who is a free agent. All right, Keenan Allen's been in this league for a long time. Charger, great. You need to bring in some depth at that position. Tight end, need to bring some people in there as well. And then at the edge position, Khalil Mack and Odafe Owe are free agents, and those were their top two edge rushers. Definitely need somebody that can rush the passer. You don't have anybody that can rush the passer, it's not going to be good for you. The Chargers, they accomplished something that would have been hard for any other team. Look at what happened with the Commanders with all the injuries they had. But yet, the Chargers were not fazed by that. They got to the playoffs. And now, if they can stay healthy this year and bring in some more guys to help out this team, who knows what's going to happen. Jim Harbaugh is just a really good head coach. In Vegas, Pete Carroll's out, and in comes Clint Kubiak. A new era has started in Las Vegas. And with the first overall pick, more than likely, they are taking Fernando Mendoza to be their new quarterback. And with $88 million in cap space, we could expect them to be active in free agency. Now, there's just one big question. What the heck's going to happen with Max Crosby? Seriously, what is going to happen? Is he going to stay, or are they going to trade him? This is going to be the top storyline for this team until we get a definitive answer on what's going to happen with him. All right? You know teams are going to want him, but the asking price is going to be ginormous, all right? Because he demands a ginormous asking price. So we are going to see what happens with Crosby, one of the premier edge rushers in the NFL. Now, outside of that, I mentioned quarterback. That has to be their top need. But with the first overall pick and Fernando Mendoza, they can worry about everything else that they need, including help in the secondary, all right? They don't have the best secondary. Definitely want to get some guys there. Offensive line, if you're going to bring in a new quarterback, make sure you have the offensive line to protect him. And also, definitely look at some wide receivers as well. They have a couple of guys in there. Bring in some more. Bring in some depth. For the Raiders, this is all about setting up the future. If they can do that, then they could be back in the playoffs sooner rather than later. Please don't mess this up. I really like Mendoza. I really want him to succeed in the NFL. Just work it out. Raiders, please, just do the right thing. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on the AFC West, last division, NFC West. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Will the Chargers stay healthy? Can the Chiefs rebound? Are the Broncos the top Super Bowl contenders in the AFC? And what will it take for the Raiders to surprise everybody in 2026? Let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.